Hi, everyone. Welcome to Meetup with MeLa. I am here today with another special guest. Her name is Aminah. And welcome, Aminah. I'm so happy to have you on
Hi,
today. Hi.
thanks for having me.
Thank you. And so Aminah is actually going to be on the Meetup with MeLa podcast today as one of the other amazing women that I would like to feature in Women's History Month of the month of March, as we've been featuring many amazing women that have been passionate about what they do, businesses that they have, and all the different things that they oversee in their day-to-day lives. And Aminah is certainly a testament to that. And Aminah is juggling not one, but two businesses. So one woman, two businesses. And we're so excited to have her today and just to share with us what she's been up to, just some of her business savvy, how things have come to be the way that they are, and just the things that she's passionate about. So really excited to have you on today, Aminah.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Happy to talk with you, Melissa.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Thank you so much. It's an honor of mine. So, can you just start, Amina, just by introducing yourself and sort of, I guess, at this point, like what even made you, get into the point of, well, obviously feature your businesses, but what even made you interested in business?
You know, I'm trying to think of the very moment. I will say,
It's okay.
I should say one woman, two businesses, and some little kids running around.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
but you know what? That's what makes you even that much more amazing
oh
because
my gosh.
honestly, as women, we know we're doing multiple things at this point, and Amina is no exception to that, and certainly puts some of us to shame in terms of, yeah, what multitasking is. So, yes, we can definitely understand that.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay, so growing up, my parents worked. They worked at jobs. They still work at jobs. My mom, I remember going to college with my mom as a little girl. She
Oh,
was
that's great.
working, yeah, she was working to complete college. She went to Medgar Evers College. She went to Hunter College. This is all in New York. And she would pick my sisters and I up from school, and we would go sit in the back of the classroom. She would get us some snacks, so we would keep quiet in the back of the class. But it's something that I remember. Like, I remember that my mom always had so much drive. I watched her climb the ladder within her career over the
Hmm.
years. She's just been such an inspiration. And I've watched also the way in which a job has also brought such a sense of security, to her, my dad, and our
Hmm.
family. Um, and so that was what I knew. I knew you get a job, you go to work, you be on time, have good work ethic,
Yep.
and you can live comfortably and you can take care of your family and do the things that matter.
Yes.
Well, that's what I knew, right? Well, then I met my husband, and he is all about do for self, work for self, make it happen for self and your family.
Okay.
And so this really kind of blew my mind and made me really uncomfortable because
Okay.
I was just so used to like, I don't know about that. There's so much risk. All I could think about was there's so much risk, so much risk. And
Okay.
so I watched him. We got married in 2009, and I watched him start a tire shop in Brooklyn, New York, right across the street from what is now the Barclay Center.
Okay.
And he, it grew and it grew and it was amazing and it was incredible. And I just watched the
Wow.
way that he made it work. And he said, the thing about himself is that he knows he's not going to let himself down. He's going to make it work. And that's
That's
what you
great.
can do when you have your own business. And he used to always tell me, like, Amina, somebody like you who has so much drive and like just doesn't stop until it's done, you would be a great person to have your own business because you will make it work and you will make it successful. And so I think I would definitely have to give the credit to my husband for opening my mind to business.
Yes.
Um, but as far as the having the grit to do business and having the I guess the ethics to be able to get it done, that would all go to my
Yes.
parents.
Okay. No, that's great. That's like great. And it sounds like I mean it's just so beautiful for you to even describe that in terms of the partnership and just the drive and the motivation and the belief that your husband obviously had in you pursuing something of your own, not necessarily taking on what he was doing, but also making something your own and putting your own potential passion into that and making it work for you. So I think that's so nice to be able to hear because I think that more people, more women would really benefit from having a partner like that and also someone that really believes in them in general in terms of them being able to, reach whatever goals they want. So I think that's so exciting. That's really exciting. Yeah, that sounds like really inspirational in so many ways. And so does he still actually own a business, Amina?
He does. He
Oh, okay.
does. I've seen him run 3 businesses. We've been married for 12 years. Okay.
Gosh, that's
About to
great.
be 13 in this summer, God willing. And
Congratulations. Yes.
thank you. And he's had 3 successful businesses. So right now he let go of the business in New York. He actually sold it. So many people were trying to buy that spot for him because it's right
Wow.
across the street from the Barclays Center. Now I think it's a big condo, right? And so he wound up selling that. Right now he has a trucking company.
Oh, okay.
And again, once again, just watching him take all the things that he's learned from previous businesses, the good, the bad, the tough, all of those things he's learned, and just really pour it into his new business is just like such a beautiful thing to watch.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It
So,
definitely sounds like it. So, let me just ask you, so let's talk about both of your businesses first, and then I'm gonna just follow up and ask you some questions related to both of them,
okay.
if you don't mind. So, the first business I would actually like to feature is called Forever Modest Hijabs and Accessories. So can you explain a little bit about this and how this came about and basically what it consists of?
Sure. So about wow, it's about to almost be 2 years this summer. So
Okay.
about 2 years ago, I so my family and we lived overseas in Dubai for about 7 years. And
Okay.
we've been back in the States in Texas for about 3. And I was so used to having hijabs, which is what I wear to cover my hair because I'm Muslim. I was so
Yes.
used to having them everywhere in every color and every design and every texture while I was living in Dubai because it's a Muslim country.
Yes.
Um, I never had to like want for a particular color to match my outfit or a particular texture. It was there. It was
Okay.
easy. Accessibility was everywhere. Well, when I came here to Texas, I was trying to figure out, okay, where's the best place to go to get hijabs? And I was just struggling a bit trying to figure all that out. And I
Yeah.
just wanted what I had. I just wanted it at my fingertips. I just
Yes.
wanted to match my outfits the way that I wanted
Yes.
to match my outfits. Um, and simultaneously, my amazing daughter, who's now 18 years old,
Oh, I'm gonna
she was,
feature this. Yes.
yeah, there she is.
Oh my
Um,
God, she's gorgeous. Both of you
Thank you.
guys are.
Thank you. Yeah, she really is. She was transitioning to high school here in America, here in Texas, and
Okay.
she was going through some struggles with wearing hijab.
Okay.
And for her, um, because she was so used to being in the majority there, so
Yes.
over there, all the girls wore hijab, right?
Yeah.
Of course, he had some people who were visiting the country or who weren't Muslim, just working there and things like that, who didn't, but they were in the minority. So she's
Yes.
used to being in the majority, and her hijab or being questioned about hijab was a non-issue.
Yes.
While here in school, she felt like it was just a little tough making friends because people had so many questions and they felt like, oh, we shouldn't bother her. She might not want to talk to us because she's wearing hijab and she's Muslim and this and that.
Oh,
So
that's
that was a
really
struggle for
tough.
her. Yeah, and so I wanted to form this company with her as a way to like bond over the hijab and the beauty of wearing hijab and the struggle of wearing hijab
Yep.
and the triumph sometimes that
Yes.
you feel through wearing hijab. And so we started this company together. We picked the
Oh, that's
designs and the
awesome.
styles and all of that we wanted to have in our collections. She was the model for all of the hijabs at the
Oh,
beginning, until she called some of her friends on board.
yep.
So even the other young ladies who you see on the website, those are my daughter's friends.
Oh, great.
And so it just became something nice for her and I
Mhm.
to bond over.
Oh, that's really nice. And now, so were
Yeah.
the friends also, were they familiar with wearing the hijab, or were they just pulled in to sort of do the modeling and they actually embraced it, or how did that work?
Yes, her friends actually are also Muslim who wore
Oh,
hijab.
okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Yeah, I
that
was
was
gonna say because
pretty
it would
cool.
be neat either way. It's like
It
it's
would
definitely
be.
a neat experience both ways. But again, I'm sure it
Absolutely.
brought them a sense of pride too in terms of
Mhm.
being able to model this. And I mean, it's there's so many beautiful options and everything. So I mean, definitely, I'm so excited to take a look at the website as well and see
Yeah.
what the different offerings are. So do you feel like it was a bonding experience then for you and your daughter, Amina?
It had its ups and downs. So there were times where I think my daughter kind of felt like I was being forceful with it, and which
Okay.
I'll honestly say I was. Like I was in my family, hijab was not an option. It was you wear hijab, that's what you have to do. We're a Muslim family, wear the hijab. Not that our parents were holding a stick over us, but it was just like almost like in a household where it's like, okay, you have to do your chores, you have to wash dishes, that's what you have to
Yes.
do.
It
So,
was an
right.
expectation,
In
yeah?
this family, exactly, it's an expectation, right? And so I think out of fear, I was more so operating out of fear of maybe her not wearing hijab or not wanting to wear hijab.
Mhm.
I think I was being a little bit forceful with it. But the thing that I learned through that experience was that I didn't really listen to what exactly her struggle was. So actually,
Okay.
I didn't learn until more recently why she was feeling like she didn't want to wear hijab. For
Okay.
me, I felt like I knew. Of course, you just don't want to wear it because you don't want to stand out, or because you just want to show off your long, pretty hair, or because like I just had these different thoughts that I was putting
Yes.
on her, right? But what I didn't do was I didn't listen enough. And actually, a class that I'm taking at Vanderbilt, which had
Yes.
me interviewing people and doing an ethnographic study,
Yes.
caused me to interview my daughter about the hijab. And that's when
Oh, that's
I found out.
amazing.
Yeah, and that's when I found out exactly how she was feeling. And I was like, well, who can't relate to wanting to have friends, right? Who can't
Yes.
relate to like not wanting to be questioned all the time about who they are and why this and why that. Sometimes you just want to be, you just don't,
Exactly. Yes.
and not have to answer questions and just let your personality shine. But if you feel like people are stopping and not coming to talk to you just because you have a scarf on your head, I can understand why someone might say, well, let me just take this off. It's just a scarf so that I people can get to know
Yes.
me.
Yes. Yes. Oh, so that was actually really interesting. And I mean, especially, it's so funny too sometimes where, again, as parents, and I'm a mom of a son that's 21. I mean, I think sometimes too, like what our experience are and their experiences, we think we know sometimes. And then we just realize, as parents, like, oh, it might be a little bit different than what we initially thought. And it's great that you've had the opportunity now to, talk to her and sort of see where she was coming from. And I'm sure now, even with her experience and maturity, things have probably changed in her thought processes too. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really
Mm-hmm.
exciting. So is
Absolutely.
this an online store only, Amina? Like how do people go about getting your products?
Well, it is an online store only, but we also sell in stores. So we
Okay.
have some stores in Texas that we wholesale our hijabs to, and they
Okay.
sell them there as well.
Oh,
They're
that's great.
they're branded with the Forever Modest Hijab logo, which people love because it's like a gold metal plate with the Forever symbol, and Forever Modest is written on there.
Oh,
And
wow.
so yeah, so people really love that, the branding of it, and they can get it in stores here in Texas, as well as online.
Okay, great. And so basically for people that may not be as familiar, what does it signify when a woman is wearing a hijab?
You know, to be honest, the most I think the clearest thing that it symbolizes is that she's a Muslim.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
So, yeah, so wearing hijab is a means for identification as a
Okay.
Muslim woman. It's a way to let people know that you're a Muslim.
Okay. No, definitely. Okay. And in terms of, do usually with like with kids, so usually is the customary for kids to wear hijabs too, like even as females, as kids, or is it usually like as they become a little bit older and of age?
Go ask Khadija. So it is something that Muslim women have to wear. So once a Muslim girl reaches puberty, then
Okay.
she has to start wearing the hijab. Before that, I mean, she can toy around with it anytime she wants, you
Yeah.
know. Like my daughters, they like to wrap it sometimes, but they don't have to wear it. They're
Yep.
still little girls who haven't reached puberty yet, but once that point comes, then
Hmm.
yeah, they do.
Yeah, and it's
And,
it's
like,
probably nice too because it's a rite of passage, and it's also like,
absolutely.
like coming into your own self. And like you said, I mean, it's a beautiful accessory, and it's also honoring your religion and your beliefs, and that is a beautiful thing. And we should all be more open to, just more open to sometimes like things, maybe it's differences, maybe it's what we don't understand, or but that's the case with a lot of styles, right? I mean, someone might
Yeah.
have a style that's not a hijab and I'm like, what is that? But like, or I
Mhm.
would wear that, but it shouldn't be acting as a barrier to getting to know a person for who they are. So I certainly
Absolutely.
appreciate you touching on that. And for your other business, so business number two is Excellence Early Learning Center. So can you tell us a little bit about this and how, like, what this is about and how you got into this as well?
Okay, so I've always wanted to be a teacher. From the
Okay.
time I was a little girl, it was something that I found I was so good at. Um,
Okay.
and I think naturally so we want to do things that we're good at, right? And I was just
Yes.
good at it. I always was. And so I um I went to college for education. And I always had this plan that I wanted to teach for this many years, and then I wanted to become a vice principal, and then I wanted to become a principal, and that one day, one special day, I would own my own school.
Okay.
Okay, so but then life happens, right?
Yes.
so
To all of us.
so that plan with those years that I had carved out, it didn't exactly happen that way, like through
Okay.
having kids along the way and all of this stuff. It just didn't all
Yes.
happen that way. However, when I married my husband in 2009, and when we were courting, and we courted for a very short period of time, maybe like not even 3 months.
Okay.
But at that time, I was telling him about my plan, and he said, I'm going to help you open your school. Right. And then, it's just one of those things that he said, but then I was like, oh, okay, that's dope. But then I put
Yeah.
it in the back of my mind, right?
Yes.
Then life continued to happen. Well, once we moved here to Texas, we had another baby, and we were just transitioning from living overseas to here. So I wanted to be able to be at home with my kids and help them have a smooth
Yes.
transition. But then I started to get bored being at home because I've been working since I was 14.
Yeah.
I work. That's what I do. I work. I like
Yes.
it. And so my husband was like, you know what? How about you just open up a daycare at home? I was like, wow, that's a great idea. Maybe I will. So then
Okay.
I just started researching everything I had to do. I went online, applied for the license,
Okay.
got my license, and Excellence Early Learning Center was born.
Oh,
And
that's amazing.
we opened in the middle of the pandemic.
Oh,
Um,
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Mhm. And so we opened last March, and at first I was only taking children of essential workers, but then as things started to, I don't even know if I could say ease up, but as we more so started to settle in to this
Yes.
new kind of reality, I started to just open it up and take more children. And now we are full. We have a waiting list. We are. I mean, I have the most amazing parents. Um,
Congratulations, Amina. I mean, that is
Thank
like such a
you.
success story. I mean, to think 1 year later to have a waiting list and amongst a pandemic, I mean, everything that you went through is like so non-traditional, I guess, in the sense of having to start a business, right? And then having to work everything through and figuring it out in the middle.
Yes. So 1 year later, we that's where we are. And I am honestly looking forward to yeah, I'm looking forward to having a building
Yes.
and yeah, not just being in home, although I love in home. And I think my parents also love in home. Certain parents just love in-home daycares over,
Yes.
big buildings.
Like a
But
center. Yeah.
exactly, over a center. But I know that I'm going to have a center that's going to have such an in-home feel, you
That's
know?
a really nice touch because I think sometimes
Mhm.
it's like yeah, again, like you don't want to feel like you're dropping your child off, especially as a baby or sometimes a toddler, and you feel like it's like to a building that seems cold in some ways or institutionalized or sterile, in
Right.
the sense of like it just lacks like the warmth, like we think about like
Mhm.
you want to make sure you're dropping your child off to an environment that just feels warm, so I think that that's really nice that you're even conceptualizing it in that way. And so what ages are the kids that you watch or that
So
come to?
So I take children from birth, which is basically about 6 weeks, all the way up to age 12.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, however, right now my children are between the ages of 3 months and 3 years old.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and it's interesting because I take school age kids, but I mainly take them for after school.
Yes.
But the children that I have right now, although they're from 3 months to 3 years, they get along so well, and
Wow.
they are such a good complement for each other. They learn so much from each other. I mean,
Hmm.
the older kids learn how to be gentle, with the babies. The babies pick up the pace and learn and move quickly, and because they're like, we want to be like the big kids, we want to be running around, and we want to,
Yes.
So it's just so beautiful to see, what being in a mixed age group environment can do for children.
And also, and sure, it's probably a nice way for you to also incorporate more socialization for your own children that may fall, under those age groups as well. So,
Mhm.
and then have them have experiences of kids that are outside of the home right now where maybe they wouldn't have with COVID or anything, with everything else that's going on. So, how have your own
Absolutely.
kids adjusted to having really a business at home?
Yeah. So my almost 2-year-old loves it. I mean, at this
Okay.
point, he doesn't really know any different, right? Those are
Okay.
his friends. He knows all his friends' names. He
Oh,
knows
cute.
what belongs to who,
Yep.
whose pacifier is whose sippy cup is. He knows whose is whose,
He's like
right?
on the payroll. Sounds like he needs to be on the payroll.
Right? Exactly. My um and then there's my 4-year-old who she thinks she's too cool for school. She's like, I already know my letters. I know how to spell my name. I know my numbers. She's like, I
Yep.
know all of this,
Like
right?
she doesn't need to be there right now. Yeah. Like
No,
especially with the younger kids. Yeah.
it's so funny. So she tries to kind of try to keep the order. Like, hey,
Yes.
you're not supposed to do that. You do this, you do that. And then my school age kids, so again, it's so interesting with different personalities. My
Yes.
7-year-old likes her mom to herself. And
Yes.
so even I remember times when like the kids were giving me hugs and things like that, and she's just looking like,
She really did not appreciate it.
"Hi,
Yeah.
girl," for mom. Like that's my mom, though,
Yes.
And so it's good that she's in school during the
Yes.
day, and then when she comes home, we typically go outside to play, so
Okay.
she doesn't have to experience that much. Babies needing hugs and we're outside playing. Everybody's
Yeah. They're
super
playing
engaged.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're snacking, and then it's time to go home.
Okay.
So I just, I try to be really mindful of my kids and their emotions with things like that. My 10-year-old, he's just super helpful. He's like, all right,
Yes.
who needs what, and
Yeah.
he's on it. My 16-year-old had to fill in today with me because one of my assistants had to leave early. He knows what to do. He's like, okay, which baby do I need to rock?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So it's like, and he probably has experience, right? From having the younger sibling. So that's like that's you definitely have either they're trained or they're in training. So that's the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like you're trained and it goes down and they're in training. So yeah, no. And you know what? It's great too because they're learning some really important life skills on top of watching you run a business and then also with your husband's experience and then also actually seeing that. And like I think the thing, Aminah, too, is some of the things that I've asked some of our other podcast guests, especially in the month of March with women, is the fact that I think it's been interesting that kids have now had an insight of what it is for us to do our work, and possibly
Mhm.
a different way, and seeing that it takes a lot of preparation, it takes a lot of time. So, do you feel like your kids have been a little bit surprised about the amount of work that it takes in what you're doing?
Yes, yes, they do. And I think that one thing that I am trying to learn, actually, my 18-year-old was trying to teach me this past weekend, is to just be better at delegating
Yes.
because I cannot do everything,
No.
but I have these two voices in my mind. One of them is my father that always said, if you want something done right, do it yourself.
Do it yourself. Yep.
And then the other one is, I guess, my daughter saying, but you can't do everything. And
Yes.
so my daughter said, Mom, you need to make a list
Yep.
of the things that only you can do, and then the things that you can delegate for other people to do, and then who you're going to delegate to do it.
Wow,
Because
she's got like a lot of insight. She should be like a manager of a company. It's so
right.
fun. I mean, and I'm sure it's such a testament to you, Aminah, and your husband, because I mean, that's just like some real, like, I mean, some adults don't know how to do that or even
Yeah.
think that way. So she sounds like really clever.
Yeah, she really is. And I went to New Jersey to see my parents and my daughter this weekend because my daughter lives in New Jersey now with my
Okay.
parents. And so I did that on the plane ride back, and it was so freeing. And so as soon
Yes.
as I got back, because I convinced myself that I didn't need my housekeeper anymore.
Okay.
I could do it, right? Because I could do it, because I could do everything.
Yep. Yeah.
But that wound up being on the list of things I don't need to do.
Yes.
So
Yes. No, you don't. You don't.
I don't. I don't need to
No.
do laundry. I don't need to clean this house. And I
Yep.
only need to cook sometimes. And
Yes.
so I called my housekeeper, and you know what it is to just come home to a house that's super clean and you didn't clean it. It's just
Yes.
very nice.
Yes,
It's just very nice.
exactly.
And
That
so
is very nice. Yes, definitely.
I'm
And I
gonna
think
do
the other side of it too is I think as women, it's also, like you said, it's freeing in terms of I think sometimes we have a battle with ourselves and it's that internal conflict of, I want to do all this and I feel guilty, but then it's like, what do we feel guilty about? And I also think
yeah.
sometimes too, when you're delegating to people, they're happy to help too. So it's
Mhm.
also giving opportunities for people to feel like they are helping you and they want to help you because they believe in your mission or care about you personally. So that's definitely important. So no, that sounds really great. So for both of the businesses, what would you say have been your biggest triumphs and also things that have been a little bit more of a struggle or even a setback?
Hmm. Biggest triumphs. I feel like just recently, I'm feeling some of my biggest triumphs with the daycare in particular, just because things have just picked up so much.
Yeah.
And then as things have picked up, actually, when I was knocked down recently because I had a tooth infection,
Oh,
um,
which is
I
miserable. Yes.
so miserable. And honestly, I don't know why people say that labor is like the worst pain ever.
Oh no. I
Tooth
always say,
pain is
yeah,
the
tooth
worst pain.
pain. Tooth
Like
pain is up there. Yeah.
I'd had 10 more babies to not have that kind of pain.
Yes.
But anyway, I had an opportunity to do some revamping of some things that I've been really meaning to do with my business. as far as like ways to show parents progress and tracking of their kids and their milestones and things like that.
Oh,
So
that's
that
really
was really
exciting.
good. Yeah, that was really exciting. I mean, one of the things my parents love the most is the communication. We have awesome communication. I have an app that I use with my parents to help them know what's happening all day with their child, from pamper changes to bottle feedings to nap time to everything. They are fully aware
Oh,
of what's
that's
going
great.
on all day long. And so this is just something in addition to be able to track their milestones and that they're reaching them and things like that. So I would say that's one of my biggest triumphs, and that
Yes.
kind of happened more recently because the more information I can give to parents about their children, the happier I feel.
Yes.
Because you know, every parent just wants to know, well, what's going on with my baby? How they doing? Are they on track for, you know, for reaching their milestones and things like that? And one of the biggest setbacks, I guess I would say, well, not step, was it setbacks? Was that the
Yeah,
question?
setbacks or any struggles, any
Struggle.
potential struggles, anything.
I would have to say it would just be trying to figure out how to balance my work life with my personal life, because
Yes.
I can be, I can, sometimes I just won't stop. Like I
Yes.
just can't stop. And I'll literally like just pass out. Like
Yes.
I'll work until my brain is like, and I'll be like, oh, I wake up, the computer's right there next to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I done did it again.
Yes.
So I think, but it's not good. And it's not
Yes.
good because I have a husband that I need to pay attention to. I have kids that I need to pay attention to. And so I just have to constantly try to figure out
Hmm.
how to do all of that. My self-care, I would say, and that's why I haven't mentioned it, because I do a great job with self. Like I get massages twice a week. I
Wow,
get
that's
my
amazing.
I
But
need
you
it.
deserve
Like
it.
I need it. Like to just that's like the time I kind of clear my mind and
Yes.
all of that. So that part I'm good with. And I go to the gym early in the morning, and
Yeah.
so that part I'm good with. It's the balancing other people who are
Yes.
super important to me that I
Yes.
struggle with at times. So
No, definitely. And I really appreciate that, like how candid you are as far as that goes, because again, I think it's all about balance. And the big thing that you also leave out is the fact that you're also a student, a doctoral student. And that's how you and I had met at Vanderbilt as well. And that takes a lot of energy and time and commitment, as we know as well. So again,
yeah.
you're a mom, you're a wife. You have two businesses. You're also, obviously a student, and yeah, that's been absolutely that's no joke as far as that goes. So definitely kudos to you, and certainly self-care. I think, like we always say, if you're not able to take care of yourself and invest in yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of anyone else, especially now that your job is mainly taking care of others. So that's also really important. So
Yeah.
I know that you had mentioned before, Amina, like in terms of your background, in terms of education, how much do you feel like your educational background and other skill sets have basically really assisted with you developing both of these businesses?
Hmm. Well, I will say, I think one of the best things I could have ever done for myself was to get my degree in education. It has literally taken me around the world. And,
Yes.
I remember hearing some things before that people would say about teaching, and yeah, you're never going to make that much money and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, maybe you're never going to make that much money, but once once I get this degree, there's no stopping me.
Yes.
Well, only God can. I graduated from NYU with a bachelor's of science in education, and I think that that's one of the best things I could have ever done for myself. Um, I was 26 with two kids when I graduated, and
Congratulations.
I was so proud of myself. Like I remember walking across the stage thinking, did I actually do this? Did I actually finish this? It was just such a huge moment for me, huge moment for me. And so that degree has taken me around the world. It's that degree that allowed me to go teach overseas in
Yes.
Dubai. And it's that degree that's also helped me to open this business because even though it's a licensed daycare center in my home, um, I have such an edge because I have the education,
Yes.
I know all the stages that, in child development that children are going to go through. I know the milestones that they're meant to reach. I know, and all the things in between. And then I
Yes.
think also with having my own children, and although daycare is not the same as, you don't treat daycare children like your children, right? But just having the experience of having so many of my own children, I think those things coupled together has allowed me to really just have such an edge and advantage
Yes.
in this business.
Yeah. No, definitely. I can certainly see how that would be the case. And so, Aminah, I'm sure the other thing that's probably you're such a resource, obviously, to people in the community, and obviously your background in education, I'm sure, is something that people really, see as such an asset to you having this child care and learning center. So with that being said, I'm sure you have probably parents that might be first time parents or even potentially might just have one child. So how much of that is also like you probably like even assuring them like things are okay in terms of their kids reaching certain milestones or they're developmentally appropriate, or maybe even determining maybe something may need to be looked into a little bit more?
You know what? It is such a blessing to be able to have the strong communication that I have with my parents. And
Yes.
I use an app that helps me to track what's going on in their lives. And so we can always look back if there's something, maybe that we're questioning now. Well, wow, I wonder when he or she started doing that. It's been
That's
tracked
great.
all along. There's pictures, there's videos, so
Oh
we
my
can
gosh,
always
that's
go
great.
back and see um, well, okay, let's see how she's grown, or, she's been saying this much, she's now saying this many words. We feel like she was saying more words before. Let's go back and look at some videos from before, or
Hmm.
let's go back and look at what her milestones were then to see if it's actually decreasing or what. And so I think that that's so crucial. Like between myself, the parents, and the child's
Yes.
pediatrician, I feel like we've
Yes.
got we've got it covered. We know what's
Yeah.
going on with this child, and we really work together. We parents and I, we communicate all the time. And we just, we're just trying to raise amazing human beings.
Exactly. And I have a picture here of two of them that
Oh
are absolutely
yes,
adorable. And they
so
look like they're like
adorable.
building away. And I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty good, like use of fine motor skills there for someone
Oh,
that looks so little. Both of them look pretty
absolutely.
little to have that kind of
Those are my
that kind of,
sweeties.
yeah, that is
And they're
great.
not even two yet. They're not even
Wow.
two. And it's really about just exposure and giving children the opportunity. If you
Yes.
provide children with the opportunity, they can do amazing things. Of course, I do some scaffolding, but a lot of it is, it is just about children being able to go to things they're interested in,
Hmm.
experiment with it, explore with it, and then have some guidance and some scaffolding to help them reach another level of development, you know?
No, that's beautiful. And I think thing about it is it's so nice to actually see that, because I think so many parents think like I want my child to go to a daycare that I feel like they're getting the most out of in terms of it's developmentally, they're being challenged or pushed or even just stimulated rather than,
Mhm.
sitting there not doing anything. And so it looks like a great setup. So I certainly appreciate that. And so lastly, I wanted to ask you, what are some things that you would say to other women or girls that are aspiring to do some of the same things you've done? So, like whether it's a background in education or starting your own business, advice that you'd have, and or even if there's words of advice that you wish that you knew when you were first starting out, some things that women could certainly, women or girls can look to and potentially even use as words of wisdom.
One of the first things that come to mind is to just have people in your corner who you trust and who only want the best for you.
Yes.
My mother, I am just so blessed. She has been the best role model I could have ever asked for. She is my guiding friend. She's someone who, when I'm going to make any kind of big decision, I can consult her. And so I think one of the best things that anybody can do when you're moving forward to do anything in your life is to make sure that you have somebody good in your corner that you can consult, who
Yes.
doesn't have your success or failure it doesn't it's not going to make or break them. They just want to see you succeed because they just want to see you succeed because they just have pure love for you. It's not
Yes.
so easy to find people like that. However,
That's true.
they're out there. Sometimes it could be your parent or your spouse or even an older child. Sometimes it's a friend or an auntie or a mentor, but just to have somebody or somebody's who are going to be
Yes.
in your corner in that way. I think that's one of the best things. Also, I would say, I don't know, this might sound too simple, but like, don't let yourself down. Like, if you have a plan, if you have something that you want to do, you've been dreaming about doing this thing, put forth the effort and get it done. Don't let
Yes.
yourself down. Don't let yourself be able to say one day, man, I had this great idea. I wonder what would have happened if I would have done it. Man, I wish I would have just had a little bit more guts or whatever you want to call it to get it done. Don't let yourself say that. Just
Yes.
do it. Do it. Don't let yourself down no matter what it takes. And yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things.
No, I definitely appreciate that. And I think, again, I think people believe in yourself and also get, like you said, even just having advocates that really have your best interest at heart and are really rooting for you, I think is key, because often enough we have people around us that might say, oh, well, they might not see the same way you do in terms of a vision, but don't let that stop you. So I think that's really, really important. And a lot of times too, we're able to use our skill sets and gifts and find a niche in something that maybe we never even thought existed. So that's
Mm-hmm.
definitely really exciting. Lastly, I'd like to actually, if you don't mind, feature a picture of your family, your amazing
Oh,
family that
yeah.
I'm sure is also a huge factor in why you're doing what you're doing and driving you every day in terms of being successful. And also, I'm sure you're acting as such an example for what they know that they can accomplish. And I think so many times we're trying to pave the way for our kids and show them that the possibilities are endless. And you're certainly the epitome of that. So I certainly appreciate that. And yes, so here we go. This is your family. This is such a
Yeah.
beautiful picture.
And we're
I,
missing one. Would you
I was
believe it? This is
I
just
was
one
gonna
of my
say
favorite. But
I
yeah,
was gonna say, where's the baby?
where's the baby? The baby might have been conceived that weekend, matter of fact. The baby is in thought.
Yeah, it's like this. It's like hasn't made an appearance yet.
Not
Oh my
yet.
gosh.
Not
Yeah,
yet.
no,
But yeah, that's
such
my
a beautiful
husband
family.
and mine. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yes. And that's your daughter towards the end there. That's the one that you have the business with.
Yes, that's
Okay.
Asada. She's
Awesome.
18 now, and
Okay.
the little one she's holding, that is Fatima. She is so sweet and rebellious.
Yeah.
And then there's Khadija between my husband and my eldest daughter. She's 7 now, and she is just smart as a whip.
Hmm.
My son Muhammad, named after his dad. That's him waving high up top, and he's so interesting. He was just challenging his teacher the other day. He said, "Mom, my teacher was teaching us about something in the earth. I don't even remember." And he said, "Well, haven't you ever heard of the hollow earth theory?" And he said, "But
What?
Mom, my teacher just said no, and she just wanted to move on." And I was just so disappointed. Like, why is she teaching us dated information? So that's him,
That's
okay?
definitely a son of an educator. That's for sure.
Listen,
He's like, Yeah, he needs to be teaching the class, is what it sounds like. I've
Oh
never even
yeah.
heard of that theory. I'm gonna have to look that up after this podcast for sure.
Uh-huh. So then we
And
had to
there's
go into theories and why some things, how things move from facts to theories. But then this is my son Zaid, my firstborn son, the one on the far left who's about to crack up laughing because we just can't get it right for a family picture. Um, he's so
that's sometimes the
amazing and
best parts
thoughtful and
though.
kind. Yeah.
Oh yes, no, that's wonderful. No, it's beautiful family picture. I love like the matching shirts and everything, and it's so great to see you as together. And then, but we need like an updated one of the little baby. That's for sure. We need the baby.
Yeah.
And at this point, he's not going to be sitting down for the picture. I'll tell you that. So it's
Yeah.
only going to make it a little bit more complicated. But no, definitely. Thank you so much, Aminah. One thing I do want to feature before we go is again for Meetup with MeLa. You can always find my information on Meetup with MeLa on Facebook and also Instagram, as well as the Meetup with MeLa YouTube channel. And you'll find the viewers can find this episode and many more. In addition, Aminah, you also have your websites that people can purchase on. So for the hijabs as well as other accessories at www.forevermodest.store. And then also to find out more about your learning center, www.excellenceearlylearningcenter.com. So definitely sounds like maybe there they can sign up for the waiting list because you don't have any openings right now, right?
They sure can.
Yeah, definitely. So that would be great. And you're in Texas. So definitely any families that are in Texas, certainly check out this page or just check it out if you're just interested to see what Aminah has going on. But definitely, I'm so happy to have you on for One Woman, Two Businesses. So proud of everything you are and everything you're doing. And definitely you act as such an inspiration to many of us that are juggling career aspirations as well as raising a family and also being true to yourself. So I think that's so important and continuing to get your education. So I've been blessed to meet you along the way. And I certainly always appreciate just the gentle spirit that you have. And, I certainly am so excited to continue our conversation and relationship and friendship. And thank you so much for being on. So I certainly appreciate your time for sure.
Thank you so much, Melissa. I really appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'm so happy to be here. And our friendship, I'm sure, will continue to blossom and grow.
Yes, definitely. And I'll tell you, like, we have to be at that graduation at the same time, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
will just be such a beautiful moment. So I'm
I
so
can't wait.
excited. It hasn't been an easy journey, but it's certainly worthwhile one for us and our family. So I'm very excited about that. So cheers and thank you for everything.
Okay. Have a great night.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.